for the royal appointment. Before we get started, I have a correction to make. I made a mistake when I said Camilla Tominey unraveled herself from the cave that she dwells in and flew to Transylvania to assist her uncle, Count Chocula, in the supply chain issues surrounding his cereals. That reporting was incorrect. She was actually there in market to test the new line of beers from her uncle, Stout Chocula. And Frankenberry. Thank you so much to the user that sent this to me. I love that people seem to think of me when it comes to Silver Springs or Count Chocula. What a legacy I am building for myself and my children. Apologies for my incorrect reporting. On to the royal appointment. When I saw this subject line in my inbox, I thought to myself, I feel like I've read this before. There it is. The fact that I've started memorizing articles from The Telegraph by Camilla Tominey is truly horrifying. I'm not proud. Spoiler, you never really get the answer. Because they're supposed to be apolitical. Then the headline in the actual royal appointment is, "A monarch who takes sides will find himself in trouble," which in some ways is related to what Charles actually thinks of the European Union. And if you guessed that we don't actually get the answer, but a lot of supposition, you would be correct. This is, of course, news because King Charles and Queen Camilla are currently in France on a rescheduled state visit. So I'm not going to lie. I read this relatively boring newsletter and was like, what's the point of this? Obviously, there's a state visit, but why are we bringing up Brexit and staying apolitical and not choosing sides? Why is this coming back up? And it might have something to do with this. President Macron made comments that the UK's Labour leader has the moral authority to be prime minister. This is after the two had a private meeting just last night, right before the state visit. This is also as French and German ministers have unveiled a new proposal for the UK to have associate membership in the EU. It's basically a 4-tiered EU, which I truly haven't done enough research into to fully understand. It sounds like in some ways the UK would return to the single market. So it's interesting that this is all coming up right before the King and Queen visit France. Maybe that is part of the reason that Camilla Tominey has heeded this warning. That although there is a lot of talk and Macron seems impressed by Labour leadership, the king must remember that he is apolitical and it would be a very bad idea to take sides as this political climate continues to ebb and flow and change. She also makes it very clear that we do not know how they feel about this publicly. All we have are rumors that the Queen and her husband were for leaving and that King Charles and William were for remaining, but we do not know for sure. It is very helpful that this is just speculation because people who are pro-Brexit can say, well, that's just rumors. We don't know how the king actually feels. And people that were pro-Remain can be like, oh, behind the scenes, Charles was privately for it. It's a great way to play both sides. Camilla warns at the end of the palace being wary of off-the-record briefings, which makes me wonder what is going to be strategically leaked and what could potentially come out that the palace doesn't want out there. I think following the news cycle on this one is going to be incredibly interesting. And what this newsletter will not say, and what it will never say, is what's the point of the monarchy in all of this? I get soft diplomacy, but if you're saying that he is not supposed to take sides or sway in any way, what is this really going to accomplish? And if it is, quote, unlikely that the subject of Brexit will rear its head again during what is supposed to be an apolitical charm offensive, what is the point? Again, what is the point if we're not going to address pressing issues of the day? Always trying to consider what these newsletters are trying to achieve. Is it a reminder that the monarch has nothing to do with Brexit, that King Charles has no actual public opinion on leave or remain? Or was it just a tight deadline and something to talk about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.